Hey everyone, Ed here from the Great Indoors. Today I am in Atlanta, Georgia, and you may be wondering what I'm doing in front of the carpenter's house. Well, let me make this a little bit clear. The carpenter's house has nothing to do with why I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia to do the filming locations of the first episode, first season of The Walking Dead. And this is the hospital where, after Rick gets into a gunfight, ends up in the hospital here. The hospital scene is critical because early on, Rick is a cop going about his job like any cop does, but the thing is, he probably spends a little too much time on the job and not enough time with his family, as we all find out in later episodes that his partner was actually having an affair with his wife. But when he comes into the hospital, he's a good cop, but he finds himself in a shootout and he ends up wounded. And I always thought that he got shot by another cop in there, his partner, but I'm probably wrong about that. But when he comes to, he's in this hospital, and there's a sign telling you, don't open this door because the dead are alive, or something like that. But I'm going to try to get a little picture inside of there. It's all gutted in there. What's left of it is history right now. But he eventually comes to and finds his way out of the hospital. This place is a wreck. He finds his way to the back end of the hospital, which is what we're coming to now. I'm going to bring you around to the other side. He comes down these steps over here, working his way down. I don't have a light with me, so I'm not going to do it. And barges through this door. Like that. And the light. Like, oh, the sun is like glaring in his eyes as he looks out over a whole field. They'll take you down this staircase over here, like this. And then you'll start seeing all the bodies, all the body bags, all around, strewn around. And then he realizes he's not in Kansas anymore. Something has definitely gone wrong. And the first thing he realizes is he's got to get home. He's got to find out what has become of his family. And that's where we're going to go next. We're going to make it over to Rick's house. And this is pretty intense, I'll tell you. You want to talk about an apocalyptic building? You couldn't do any worse than this right now. If they had that episode filmed right now, they wouldn't have to change a thing. I'm getting out of here. This is crazy. After Rick escapes with his life from the hospital, he naturally would go back to where his wife and Carl live. And we are on Cherokee Avenue here in Atlanta, Georgia, about to come upon Rick's house. Okay, this is the staircase that leads to Rick's house from the first season, first episode of Walking Dead. And I'm gonna work in a video of Rick stumbling his way up these steps. Let me put it to you this way. In the movie, these steps were overgrown because, remember, the zombie apocalypse had already happened and nothing was maintained. But as you could see, this house is definitely well maintained. In fact, word is that for many years since they used it, this house was empty. But a year ago, someone purchased the house, and now it's a beautiful residence where people are actually living there now. So this is Rick's house, and he is gonna step out at one point. There's also going to be a scene coming up where Rick is standing across, and I was going to have Michelle bop me over the head because out of nowhere, Morgan's son bangs Rick in the head and he goes down for the count. And Morgan is like, did he talk? He was talking? Was he talking? Come on now. They don't talk. And that's when Rick passes out and wakes up in Morgan's makeshift house. And that's where we're going to go next. After Rick gets bopped on the head by Morgan's son, which is down the street and to the left over there on Cherokee, obviously they drag his body down Ormond, which is what we're at right now, to the house that Morgan and his son were staying at during the early stages of the zombie apocalypse. This is the house, 376 Ormond. And I know some of the Google Maps things actually tell you that it's 386, but that is incorrect. This house is obviously under a lot of serious renovation, and it doesn't look anything, well, you could get the basic idea that this is the same house, but it is definitely a big improvement from the way it was when the first season was aired. This is the corner where the zombie was, right over there. And Rick, after talking and getting healing from Morgan, they realize that they're both on the same side. Rick is going to start looking for his wife, and eventually Morgan is going to decide to move on. He's just scared about leaving his son out into the world because he doesn't want to risk losing the last thing that he loves, because he didn't want to kill his wife when he had a chance because it broke his heart too much. But Rick has no trouble taking down the zombie over here. And then Rick gives him a gun for protection, and also he gives him a radio, I believe. Maybe he doesn't give him a gun. I'm not sure. Correct me on that one. I think it's just a radio, a CB radio that he gives him, so that every morning he'll talk to him via, to make sure, if anyone's out there, they'll try to communicate and stay in touch. And he does for a while, but eventually things move on, and Rick stops calling. And later on, in the further down, he runs back into Morgan, and Morgan is upset because not only has he lost his son, but he also, stopped getting communication from Rick, and they almost come to blows, and they get into a huge fight over that. But eventually they work things out. But this is it. This is the house that Morgan saved Rick's life in after they got hit in the face by a shovel over there. Anyway, yeah, he did save his life because he had that gunshot wound that was getting really bad, you know. Anyway, let's move it along. We're gonna move to the next stage. I want to go to the CDC that was used in Atlanta, Georgia, and other locations coming up. Walking Dead, little known facts. Did you know that the TV show The Walking Dead has a zombie to human ratio of 5,000 to 1? Well, that's a lot of zombie killing for our beloved Daryl, or Norman Reedus. The fact is, Norman Reedus, or the character Daryl, was not in the plans, but they were so enamored by his performance in the first season that he was kept on as a regular, and we now love him very, very much. Okay, we are joined by Michelle on the last filming location. Michelle, you're not a big Walking Dead fan, are you?
No, I never followed the movie.
But you know who Rick is, right?
Correct, head one, yes.
Yeah, he's the top guy. But anyway, it's Rick that wants to get answers at the further in, not in the first or second, but I think it's the third or fourth episode. He wants to find out what is going on. What is, you know, so word is that the zombie apocalypse may have answers, and they use this Cobb Energy building as the Center for Disease Control. The Center for Disease Control is located in Atlanta, but they really do not like using their photo like that in a movie of this. The only movie that the Center for Disease Control actually used their likeness was in the movie Contagion with Matt Damon, I believe. I don't know. But yeah, this is the Cobb Energy, and this is where Rick finds out that most of the scientists that were working here ran off, or this was like a stronghold in Atlanta where they were fighting to the end over here. But one of the doctors remained, and again, the zombies attack, and that doctor gets bitten and eventually dies. But a key thing was whispered into Rick's ear, that as she was dying, that no matter what, whether you've been bitten or not, everyone, once they die, will turn into a zombie.
Okay.
And Rick never reveals that until the end of the second season, because he doesn't want to destroy hope, which what makes Rick a leader. He's always thinking ahead about what will happen with the people's morale and stuff like that. They really don't go into it because really, you know, in later episodes, Michelle, they do have a child born in the, you know, and nothing happens. So I think they kind of scrapped that idea of having everyone die once they die and everyone becomes a zombie, you know, because it's not true. I mean, even when I was over there doing the video earlier of the hospital scene, there was body bags full of dead bodies, and they were not rising. So it must have been just an error on that doctor's, you know, judgment, thinking that everyone has to turn into a zombie. Anyone have any comments on what happened after this? This is the last one of this filming location video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun. There's so much more that I have not gotten into. That it's hot, and I'm the moron here wearing long pants in 90-degree temperature over here. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe to The Great Indoors. I love doing these type of videos, filming locations, and if you want more, put it in the comments. Stay safe, watch out for the zombie apocalypse, and have a great indoors day.
Hit the thumbs up for The Great Indoors with Ed and Michelle.
Bye. Another good hit with the buffalo. You already got a major bonus, Michelle? Holy cow. That's $10. Good job. Today we are in Cuyahoga Falls, checking out the last remaining Arthur Treachers. Let's take a look on the